If your legs have been feeling weaker, it's not just age. It's reversible. One simple exercise and a chair are all you need to rebuild the strength you thought was gone for good. Sit to stand. Of all the exercises on this list, the sit to stand might be the one that earns the most eye rolls at first glance. Standing up from a chair? That's an exercise? Yes, actually, and once you slow it down and do it properly, you'll feel exactly why. Start seated toward the front edge of a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor and positioned just under your knees. You want your shins roughly vertical, not kicked out in front of you, not tucked under the chair. Lean forward slightly from the hips before you push up. This mirrors the natural mechanics of how the body is supposed to rise, and most people skip it entirely by rocking back and using momentum instead, which quietly masks how much strength has already been lost. Now stand up. No pushing off with your hands, no gripping the armrests, just your legs doing the work they were built to do. If that's genuinely not possible right now, use as little hand support as needed and work toward removing it over time. Then comes the part most people rush through, sitting back down. Take a full 4 seconds to lower yourself. That slow, controlled descent is where a significant chunk of the strength building happens. Muscles respond strongly to that kind of eccentric contraction, and skipping it is like doing half a workout and wondering why nothing's changing. 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps is the target. If that sounds manageable, great. If it sounds like a lot right now, start at whatever number you can do with good form and build from there. The chair isn't going anywhere. Sets and reps, 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Seated leg extension. The seated leg extension goes straight after the quadriceps, the large muscle group along the front of your thigh that does an enormous amount of work in everyday life. Every time you stand up, climb a step, or steady yourself after a stumble, the quads are involved. When they weaken, you feel it in ways that seem unrelated at first. A general unsteadiness, a reluctance to take stairs, a slight hesitation before standing that wasn't there a few years ago. Sit tall with your back against the chair, feet flat on the floor. Hold the sides of the chair for a stable base so your energy goes into your legs rather than into staying balanced. Then straighten one leg out in front of you until the knee is fully extended. Here's the detail most people miss. Keep your toes flexed back towards your shin the entire time the leg is extended. That simple adjustment locks in the quad engagement and ensures the muscle is working through the full range of motion. It might feel awkward at first, but it makes a real difference. Hold at the top for 2 full seconds, then lower slowly. Don't just let gravity bring it down. Control the descent, switch sides, and repeat. Done consistently with attention to those details, this builds the kind of quad strength you feel in every practical moment of your day. 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps per leg is the target. It's not a complicated movement, but done consistently and with attention to the details above, it builds the kind of quad strength that you feel in every practical moment of your day, and that's precisely the point. Sets and reps, 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps per leg. Seated marches. Seated marches might be the exercise on this list that looks the least impressive from the outside and delivers more than people expect once they actually commit to doing it right. At first glance, it looks like you're just lifting your knees while sitting in a chair, and technically, yes, that's what's happening. But the details are what separate a useful exercise from just going through the motions. Start with your feet hip-width apart, flat on the floor. Sit up tall and begin lifting one knee toward hip height, lowering it, then repeating on the other side in a steady, alternating rhythm. Think of it less like sitting in a chair and more like marching in place, because that's exactly what the body is simulating. The thing that makes this one worth taking seriously is posture. The natural temptation, especially as fatigue sets in, is to lean back into the chair and let the backrest carry the load. It feels easier because it is easier, and that's precisely why it's something to avoid. Stay upright throughout the entire set and let your core and hip flexors actually do their job. When you feel that lean start to creep in, that's your signal to push through rather than accommodate it. The hip flexors tend to get tight and weak simultaneously in people who sit a lot, which is most of us. This exercise engages them in a way that carries directly over into walking and stair climbing. 2 to 3 sets of 20 alternating marches. Keep the tempo steady, keep the posture honest, and don't underestimate what something this accessible can do when you show up for it regularly. Sets and reps. 2 to 3 sets of 20 alternating marches. Seated heel raises. Seated heel raises are quietly one of the most underrated exercises in this lineup, and they tend to get skipped because they don't look particularly exciting. But the calves are doing more work in your daily life than most people give them credit for, and when they weaken, the effects show up in some inconvenient ways. The calves are involved in essentially every step you take. They help propel you forward when you walk, absorb impact, and play a significant role in balance, particularly the reactive kind that keeps you from going down when you catch your foot on something. When calf strength declines, balance becomes less reliable and the risk of a fall goes up in ways that aren't always obvious until something actually happens. To do them, sit tall with your feet flat on the ground and knees bent to roughly 90 degrees. Hold the sides of the chair lightly for support. Lift both heels off the floor simultaneously, rising onto the balls of your feet as high as you comfortably can. Press through each foot evenly, hold at the top for 2 full seconds, then lower slowly back to the floor. That 2-second hold isn't optional if you want the most out of this. It forces the calf into a sustained contraction rather than just bouncing through the movement, and that tension is where a lot of the strength development lives. Small movement, surprisingly large return on investment. 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. It's a small movement with a surprisingly large return on investment, and once you start paying attention to how your calves feel during everyday walking after a few weeks of consistency, you'll understand exactly why this one made the list. Sets and reps. 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Most people wait until things feel noticeably wrong before they start thinking seriously about strength. But the ground can absolutely be made up. The body responds to consistent, appropriate exercise regardless of age. And that's not motivational poster language. That's just how muscle physiology works. Give your legs a reason to get stronger, and they will. So if you've been feeling that wobble, that hesitation when you go to stand, that quiet frustration with stairs, this is a genuinely reasonable place to start. A sturdy chair, a little floor space, and 4 exercises that don't require you to be an athlete to pull off. Done consistently a few times a week, this is the kind of routine that compounds. Slowly and then all at once, things start feeling steadier, easier, more like the way things used to feel, which is really the whole goal.